Hi guys, today I will be channeling with a group called the Cosmic Guides about the third dimension. I hope you will enjoy it. Hello, we are the Cosmic Guides. We are here to guide you through your life and your lifetime in a happy and joyful manner. You wanted to know more about the third dimension. It was a time and a place which was not very happy. Actually, the third dimension is still happening on your planet, although it will become less and less. Many people feel there is more for them. They feel what they are doing now is not enjoyable anymore. And that is logical. Living the life in the third dimension was hard and is hard. In the third dimension there were so many rules, and those rules were not made by the heart or by the soul, but just by the ego and the mind. And having rules by the mind or the ego is actually rules who are not right, who are not in connection with who you really are. And you felt that, so that is why so many of those rules didn't feel right. But you didn't know how to live otherwise, because everyone told you that those rules were good for you. Those rules were good for the society. So you believed your parents, you believed the society, you believed your school system, because they were older, they knew better, and they told you many times they knew better. But actually, did they really know better? Many children who are nowadays light workers felt when they were young that their parents really didn't know better than they did. They really questioned their rules. They tried to break them. They tried to object to them. But in the end, they were small. They were only children. They didn't have much power. And because they were alone in a big, big world with all those parents, teachers, and all the other people who knew so much better, they just gave up. They listened to the rules and said to themselves, okay, if that is what they are saying, then it must be true, because otherwise they would be living differently. But really, in your heart, many people knew this is not the right thing. But it made it very difficult, especially for the young light workers and the young star seeds, who were seeking for a better life, for a better society. And when they got older, they adjusted, but more to themselves. They kicked against some old habits, against some rules. They objected to their parents. But still, many of them followed the rules because there was no way to escape the rules. You had to work hard. You had to earn a living. So why did they still have that nagging feeling inside them? But at a certain point, and especially the last few years, it's becoming so much clearer to them what was happening to them in their childhood. And that was, they were 50 persons already, but they were living in a surrounding that was totally 3D. And that meant there was a big discrepancy between the 5D people and the 3D world they were living in, but also between them and the 3D people, who were still the majority of the earth. So that made it so difficult for them. So many of these light workers, they experienced depression, anxiety. They felt unhappy for a big part of their lives. They only felt happy in nature with animals, because nature and animals are already in 5D living. But if you can only correlate to nature and animals and the big world with all the people are still in 3D, then it makes it so difficult to live happily. Fortunately, at this point in time, many people are awakening. So even the 5D persons, the light workers, feel much more uplifted by the whole surroundings they are in, because many people are now looking to do it differently. But first, let's talk again about 3D. It was a time on Earth which lasted a long time. Actually, still till now, but only recently people are moving into 4D and 5D. It was difficult. It was about surviving. People had to work hard. There were many illnesses who they could not challenge. They could not overcome the illnesses. Love was something which was decided by the parents. Many marriages were failing actually, but you could not divorce because that would be so wrong. It was a time, well, many people were not really happy because they were guided by everything which came from the outer world. So if in the outer world something did not go right, it would affect them deeply, because they were building their whole ego on all the things that were on the outside world. They did not have an ego that was built on love for themselves, on the inner world of themselves. So it made it so difficult. I will talk later more about 5D, because that's the best time you can ever have, especially in this earth life. But the 3D was hard, and it's a good thing that nowadays the 3D experience is coming to an end for many people, because it really did not work. So you can question yourself, why did we ever had to be in 3D if it didn't work, if it was hard? Well, it was because your souls really wanted the experience to live in a harsh surrounding. But why, will you ask? Why do I want to experience difficulty? Why do I want to experience sickness, bad loves, a life that is not worth living? Well, actually, when you look from a higher viewpoint, it was worth living, although it was not a happy life. But you learned so much which you could not have learned were you already in 5D. Because when you have adversities in life, it makes you seek for something better. It makes you seek for a better place, a better partner, a better health. All those things, all those negative things drive you to go into the opposite, to the better world. Although you really didn't see it at that time, because also in 3D things are really going slowly. Slow in the sense of that the time felt very slowly, but also the experiences and the discoveries were very slow. So in those days you could maybe have a simple problem, or what would we consider in 5D as a simple problem. But in 3D it would hunt you for maybe 10 years before you could discover a little solution, only to make it a little bit more better. So you were very stuck in the energy, very much not in alignment with who you really are. Your soul could not reach you very easily, and you could not reach your soul. Um, this might sound strange because, of course, always you are connected to your soul, otherwise, you would not live here. But you could not hear the true calling of your soul spirit. You could not communicate. So it all felt very, very lonely also. You didn't know where to look for answers. Like nowadays, there are many self-help books which have helped so many people, but self-help books are really a 5D projection from many people who are already 5D or already feel 5D energies. But when you were totally immersed in 3D, there were no self-help books. The only help you could turn to was the church, prayer, and of course prayer is always very good. We cannot stress enough do a lot of prayers because they are listened to. But in those times, because your soul or you were so slow in discoveries, and your soul could not really get into the reach into your body. All those prayers who were answered, somehow you just blocked them. You could not let them in. It was too difficult for you to even consider that it was possible that your prayers were being heard. Even though there sometimes were wonders in your life, many times it felt you were so totally alone and things just happened to you. And in the 3D also you were so immersed in negativity, so you were constantly thinking negatively. You could really not understand how things could be different. This period of 3D, well, actually it lasted so long, it's too long to remember. It must have lasted for a few million years. So you can imagine that now we are really transforming. It's also very shocking, very different for a lot of people, and it will take for many people some time to adjust to new thoughts, because all these other thoughts were so deeply rooted in many people, and many people still live by those ideas. So don't don't blame them, don't argue with them. It's just it's actually very normal that they just can't get it right now, and they will get it. The more people awaken to 5D, the more the 3D people will awaken also. So there is no choice for them. They have to follow, because otherwise they just will be so unhappy and miserable. But also they will see, hey, my life is not going well, while I see the other person is really going great with his life. What is that person doing differently from me? It's not hard work, it's not thinking about something. So the 3D people will question, what is it that makes those 5D persons so different? And that will trigger them to do it also, to go in a flow, to get more into a vibe that also gives them those 5D experiences. So there's a lot of hope for the future, and also for now. Because if you are now already are living in 5D or moving towards it, which probably is a better term, because there actually are not many people who are totally immersed in 5D, you will feel so much joy, you will feel so much love. You know that life only will get better. So enjoy this moment, enjoy the ride, because every minute it is getting better. Thank you very much.